is having a bad day. He is out fishing, but there are no bites. There are, however, many bills to pay, and he feels like, despite his expertise and despite him having the boat, the right fishing gear, the right location and everything, he seems to be failing miserably. And suddenly, a strange man from the shore screams out, "Toss the net to the other side of the boat and you'll catch." Peter, when he hears this, he thinks to himself, what does this man know? I've been doing this my whole life. I have everything down. What does this stranger know? And to be honest, you don't need to be a professional fisherman to know that simply tossing a net to the other side of a boat, it won't do anything. It won't change anything, because there aren't going to be more fish on one side of the boat than the other. Yet, despite all of this, Peter, in his frustration, goes ahead and tosses his net to the other side of the boat. The moment he does this, his nets swell up with fish, and he carries fish into the boat, so much so that his boat can barely carry its weight. Oh, by the way, that man, that stranger on the shore, that man was Jesus. And today, Jesus is coming to your situation, your fears, your failures. You know, you may feel much like Peter, that you are a pro at this, that you've got it all down, you've got all the plans, all the tools and everything you need to make the catch. You feel like you have everything you need to pay the bills, or whatever it is. But Peter, even though he did have everything he needed that the world could offer, that is his fishing nets, his fishing boat, he had the water, the location, he had his skill set, he had everything a good fisherman would need to be able to catch the fish. But he had everything except the only thing that matters, something that the world cannot offer, and that is Jesus himself. You can have everything to make it work in your life, but if you don't have Yeshua, Jesus Christ, in your life, you have missed the main ingredient to success, the main ingredient to turning your situation into success. All you really need to do to get this, to access this, is to listen to his call. When he is crying from the shoreline to you, do you hear what he says? And even though what he tells you to do seems absurd, it seems like it is something that does not make sense, it won't make any difference in your situation. Do you laugh at that, toss it aside and go on with your plan? Or do you stop, listen, and do what he said? Because let's be honest, it was not the act of Peter's throwing the net onto the other side of the boat that did anything in and of itself, but rather it was doing something because that was an act of obedience towards what God has told him to do. He was putting his faith in God. And in that moment, God has been given the power by Peter to change his situation. God is able to do a miracle because of his belief and trust. And so in the same way, what will you do? God is calling out. He is saying, throw the net to the other side of your boat. And yes, it doesn't make sense. Yes, it is absurdly sounding, but it will be the thing that changes everything if you put your trust in him. You see, brothers and sisters, God uses the simple things of this world to make fools of the wise of this world. We who think we are professionals, who are good at what we do, who don't need God's help, are the very ones who will be like fools when we think we don't need his help, because he is the only thing missing from our success, our situation being crushed. and freedom. And so I invite you today to be like Peter and say, Father, what do you want me to do with this situation? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to catch my fish? And let him tell you what to do, and whatever he tells you, go and do. Be like the servants at the wedding of Cana, who, when they heard of Jesus saying, go and fill the jars of water, even how absurd it sounded, they still went and did it. And that was the thing that brought forth the miracle. See, brothers and sisters, miracles come at a cost. The cost is that you need to die to yourself, your ideas, what seems right to you. You need to be able to be like, I don't care if this seems foolish, I'm going to do it just because my Father said I should. And because of that, that is what is enough to produce the miracle. Faith in the things of God, which often seems like foolish to the world. I hope that this short teaching has blessed you, and I hope that you, this week, you decide to be like Peter. And God bless you. Shalom.